Welcome to Bookshelf Aim. Today, we are going to talk about the bestseller book, As a Man Thinketh. Your thoughts create your life. This book is written by James Allen. Now, let's start. Book summary and life-changing lessons. Imagine two people. They are almost the same age. They have similar opportunities. They face similar problems. And yet, 5 years later, their lives look completely different. One person has become confident, disciplined, peaceful, and successful. The other is still stuck in the same place. He blames his circumstances. He says, "My family didn't support me. I didn't have enough money. I wasn't lucky. The world is unfair. My circumstances were against me." But here is the important question. Is your life really controlled only by your circumstances? Or does something happening inside your mind also play a major role in shaping your life? This is the central idea behind one of the most powerful self-development books ever written, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. The message of this book is simple, but if you truly understand it, it can completely change the way you look at yourself and your life. The fundamental idea is this: your thoughts influence the person you become. Your thoughts influence your character. Your character influences your actions. Your actions become habits. And your habits gradually shape your life. So if you want to change your life, you cannot always begin by changing the world around you. Sometimes, you have to begin by changing what is happening inside your mind. Chapter 1. Your mind is like a garden. Imagine that you own a beautiful garden. The soil is fertile. Whatever seed you plant in it has the potential to grow. If you plant beautiful flowers, flowers will grow. If you plant weeds, weeds will grow. The soil does not argue with the seed. It doesn't say, "This is a good seed, so I will allow it to grow," and "This is a bad seed, so I won't allow it." It simply provides the environment for the seed to grow. James Allen suggests that our mind works in a similar way. Your thoughts are seeds. Every day, thousands of thoughts pass through your mind. Some are positive, some are negative, some are filled with fear, some with ambition, some with jealousy, some with love, some with confidence. And when certain thoughts are repeated again and again, they gradually become part of our character. Think about a person who constantly tells himself, "I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I'm unlucky. People like me can never become successful. I always fail." At first, these may appear to be just thoughts, but if they are repeated every day, they can influence the way that person behaves. He may stop taking risks. He may avoid opportunities. He may become afraid of failure. He may stop learning. He may give up before even trying. And eventually, his life may begin to look exactly like the picture he has created in his mind. Now imagine another person. He faces the same difficulty but tells himself, "I may not be good at this yet, but I can learn. I failed this time, but I can try again. There must be another way. I can improve." That mindset changes behavior. He studies. He practices. He learns from mistakes. He keeps trying. And over time, his results begin to change. This gives us the first major lesson. Take care of the seeds you plant in your mind, because the thoughts you repeatedly entertain today may become the reality you experience tomorrow. Chapter 2. Your thoughts build your character. One of the most important ideas in As a Man Thinketh is that character does not suddenly appear. It is developed gradually, through repeated thoughts, through repeated choices, through repeated behavior. Think about someone who constantly compares himself with others. At first, comparison may seem harmless, but if he keeps doing it, comparison can turn into jealousy, and jealousy can influence his behavior. He may stop appreciating other people's success. He may begin to secretly wish that others would fail. Eventually, that way of thinking becomes part of his personality. Now imagine someone who thinks differently. Instead of saying, "Why is that person ahead of me?" he asks, "What can I learn from that person?" The same situation produces a completely different character. One person becomes jealous. The other becomes inspired. This is why your thoughts matter. Your character is not created in one day. It is built through repetition. If you repeatedly practice patience, patience becomes stronger. If you repeatedly practice discipline, discipline becomes stronger. If you repeatedly give in to anger, anger can become easier to express. If you repeatedly choose courage, courage becomes easier to access. So ask yourself, what kind of person are my thoughts training me to become? Because the thoughts you repeat today are helping to build the person you will become tomorrow. Chapter 3. Circumstances do not have the final word. This is one of the most powerful lessons from the book. We often say, I'm unhappy because my circumstances are bad. But look around you. Two people can experience the same difficulty and respond completely differently. One person sees a problem and says, my life is over. Another person sees the same problem and says, okay, what can I learn from this? One person sees failure as proof that he is incapable. Another sees failure as information. The external event may be the same, but the interpretation is different, and that interpretation affects what happens next. This does not mean that circumstances don't matter. Of course they matter. Poverty matters. Loss matters. Failure matters. Unfairness exists. People can hurt us. Life can be extremely difficult. James Allen's message is not that you can control everything that happens to you. You cannot, but you can work on how you respond. You may not control the event, but you can influence your attitude toward the event. And that response can change the direction of your life. Your circumstances may influence you, but they do not have to completely define you. Chapter 4. Desire is the beginning. Every major achievement begins with a desire. Before a building exists, there is a blueprint. Before a book exists, there is an idea. Before a successful career exists, there is a goal. Before a person changes his life, there is usually a decision somewhere inside his mind. I want something different. But desire alone is not enough. A person may say, I want to become successful. But what does he do every day? Does he learn? Does he practice? Does he work? Does he sacrifice? Does he stay consistent? Because your actions reveal the seriousness of your desires. Imagine a student who says, I want to clear the UPSC examination, but he spends 5 hours every day scrolling through social media. He studies only when he feels motivated. He changes his strategy every week. He avoids difficult subjects. His desire may be real, but his actions are not aligned with his goal. This is where many dreams die, not because people don't want success, but because their daily behavior does not support what they say they want. So remember, a dream becomes powerful when it is connected to action. Chapter 5. Purpose gives your life direction. Imagine getting into a car without knowing where you are going. You could drive for hours. You can use fuel. You can move very fast, but you may still end up nowhere meaningful. The same thing can happen in life. You could be busy every day and still make no real progress. You answer messages, watch videos, scroll through social media, go to work, come home, repeat. Busy does not always mean productive. Purpose gives your energy direction. When you have a meaningful goal, your decisions become clearer. You begin asking, does this help me? Is this taking me closer to my goal? Should I spend my time on this? What should I stop doing? This is why having a clear purpose matters. Your goal does not have to be enormous. It could be becoming a better student, building a business, improving your health, becoming financially independent, learning a skill, becoming a better parent. The important thing is that your life is moving in a deliberate direction. Because when you know where you want to go, it becomes easier to decide what you should do today. Chapter 6. Failure does not define you. Now let's talk about something everyone experiences. Failure. Failure is one of the biggest reasons people begin doubting themselves. You fail an exam. You lose a job. Your business doesn't work. A relationship ends. You make a terrible decision. And suddenly your mind says, I'm a failure. But there is a huge difference between saying, I fail, and saying, I'm a failure. The first describes an event. The second describes your identity. One failure cannot define your entire life. Think about your life as a book. One bad chapter does not mean the entire book is bad. Maybe you made a mistake. Maybe your strategy was wrong. Maybe you weren't prepared. Maybe you chose the wrong path. Maybe the timing wasn't right. Learn from it. Adjust. Try again. Failure can become information. It can tell you what doesn't work. It can expose weaknesses. It can force you to develop patience. It can make you stronger. The important thing is not whether you fall. The important thing is whether you learn how to stand again. Chapter 7. Happiness begins within. Almost everyone wants happiness, but many people postpone happiness. They tell themselves, when I make more money, I'll be happy. When I get the job, I'll be happy. When I buy a house, I'll be happy. When people respect me, I'll be happy. When I become successful, I'll finally be happy. But then something interesting happens. The goal is achieved, and another goal appears. You get the job, then you want a promotion. You get the promotion, then you want more money. You get more money, then you want recognition, and the cycle continues. There is nothing wrong with ambition. The problem begins when you make your happiness completely dependent on external circumstances. James Allen places great importance on the inner state of a person. Two people can have similar external circumstances and experience life completely differently. One may constantly worry. The other may remain peaceful. One may constantly compare. The other may feel grateful. One may live in fear. The other may live with courage. This is why inner development matters. Success isn't simply about getting more. It is also about becoming the kind of person who can enjoy what he has without constantly being destroyed by fear, jealousy, or dissatisfaction. Chapter 8. Learn to observe your thoughts. Your mind produces thoughts constantly. You cannot prevent every thought from appearing, but you don't have to believe every thought. Suppose your mind says, I'm not capable of doing this. Stop for a moment. Ask, is that actually true? Or is it simply fear? Suppose your mind says, everyone is better than me. Ask, everyone? Probably not. Suppose your mind says, I failed, so I will always fail. Ask, where is the evidence? This small habit can change your relationship with your mind. You begin to realize a thought is not automatically a fact. You can observe your thoughts. You can question them. You can choose which thoughts deserve your attention. This is the beginning of mental discipline. You don't have to fight every negative thought. Sometimes you simply need to notice it and choose not to follow it. Chapter 9. Your environment matters. Although the central focus of the book is the mind, there is another practical lesson we can take from it. Your environment influences your thinking. Think about the people you spend the most time with. What do they talk about? Do they constantly complain? Do they mock ambition? Do they believe nothing can change? Or do they encourage learning? Do they discuss ideas? Do they push themselves? Do they believe in growth? The information you consume also matters. Every day, you are feeding your mind. Videos, books, news, social media, conversations, entertainment. If you constantly consume negativity, fear, anger, and comparison, it can affect your mental environment. So ask yourself, what am I feeding my mind every day? Because just as your body is affected by what you eat, your mind is influenced by what you repeatedly consume. Chapter 10. Your mind and your inner state. Our mental state can strongly influence how we experience life. When your mind is constantly filled with stress, fear, anger, and anxiety, even ordinary situations can feel overwhelming. But when your mind becomes calmer and more disciplined, the same challenges may become easier to handle. This does not mean that every physical illness is caused by negative thinking. That would be an oversimplification. Medical conditions can have many different causes. The deeper lesson is about the relationship between your inner state and your experience of life. If your mind is constantly at war with itself, even success may not feel peaceful. But if you develop inner stability,
you may be able to face difficult situations without completely losing yourself. Chapter 11. Dreams can become reality. One of the most inspiring ideas in the book is the power of a vision. Every major achievement was once an idea in someone's mind. Before the building existed, someone imagined it. Before the invention existed, someone imagined it. Before the book existed, someone imagined writing it. Before a successful career existed, someone imagined a different future. But there is an important warning here. Positive thinking is not magic. Simply thinking, "I will become rich," will not make you rich. Thinking, "I will become successful," will not automatically create success. Thought becomes powerful when it changes behavior. If your vision makes you study harder, learn new skills, work consistently, take calculated risks, develop discipline, and keep going after failure, then that vision becomes a force in your life. So don't just visualize the destination. Build the road that leads there. Chapter 12. Change your thinking, change your direction. If your thoughts influence your character, and your character influences your actions, then changing your thoughts can help change your direction. But don't expect transformation overnight. Your mind has been trained for years. Some negative beliefs may have existed since childhood. Some habits may have been repeated thousands of times. So change requires repetition. Just as your body becomes stronger through regular exercise, your mind becomes stronger through regular practice. Start your morning with clarity. Ask yourself, what is important today? During the day, observe your thoughts. When a negative thought appears, question it. Work on your goals. Take small actions. At night, reflect. What did I do well today? Where did I waste time? What mistake did I make? What can I improve tomorrow? These small practices may appear insignificant, but small improvements repeated over months and years can produce extraordinary results. Chapter 13. The biggest lesson of the book. If you had to summarize as a man thinketh in one idea, it would be this. Your inner world influences your outer life. Your thoughts influence your character. Your character influences your actions. Your actions become habits. Your habits influence your results. And your results gradually shape your life. So if you want different results, don't only focus on the results. Go back to the beginning of the chain. Look at your thinking. Look at your beliefs. Look at your daily behavior. Look at the stories you repeatedly tell yourself. Because sometimes the biggest obstacle isn't outside you. Sometimes it is the belief you have accepted about yourself. Final chapter. Ask yourself this question. Tonight, before you go to sleep, ask yourself one question. If I continue thinking exactly the way I think today for the next 5 years, what will my life look like? Think about that carefully. If you constantly tell yourself that you're weak, what will your confidence look like 5 years from now? If you constantly believe that every problem is impossible, how much courage will you have developed? If you spend every day learning, how much knowledge will you have accumulated? If you practice discipline every day, what kind of person will you become? And if you consciously improve the quality of your thoughts, how different could your life become? James Allen's As a Man Thinketh does not give you a magical formula. It gives you something much more powerful. Responsibility. The responsibility to examine your own mind. You cannot control everything that happens to you. You cannot control every person. You cannot control every circumstance. You cannot control the past. But you can work on your response. You can decide which thoughts you will strengthen. You can decide what you will focus on. You can decide what actions you will take.
And you can decide what kind of person you want to become. So the next time your mind tells you, I can't do this, pause. Ask, is that a fact? Or is that fear? When your mind says, this is too difficult, tell yourself, it may be difficult, but is it impossible? When your mind says, I failed, tell yourself, I failed at something. I am not a failure. And when your mind says, my life can never change, remember, change often begins with a single thought. A thought that you repeat. A thought that you begin to believe. A thought that changes your behavior. And when behavior is repeated, it becomes a habit. Habits shape character. And character can change the direction of your life. So be careful about what you repeatedly tell yourself. Because your mind is not merely the place where you think. It is one of the places where your future is being built. Every day, you are planting seeds. Some seeds are fear. Some are doubt. Some are anger. Some are jealousy. But you can choose different seeds. You can plant courage, discipline, patience, learning, gratitude, self-belief, growth. And then you must water those seeds with action, because thoughts without action remain dreams. But thoughts combined with consistent action can become transformation. So don't just listen to this book's summary and move on. Choose one idea, choose one thought, choose one habit, and take one small action today, because knowledge becomes powerful only when it is applied. And remember, your thoughts influence your character. Your character influences your actions. Your actions shape your habits, and your habits shape your life. You may not be able to control everything that happens in your life, but you can work on the mind through which you experience that life. And that may be one of the greatest forms of freedom you can develop. So the next time life becomes difficult, don't immediately ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Ask instead, "Who can I become because of this?" Because your current circumstances are not necessarily the final chapter. Your past does not have to become your identity, and your present thoughts do not have to remain your future thoughts. You can learn, you can change, you can grow, you can choose a new direction. And perhaps that is the deepest lesson of James Allen's As a Man Thinketh. Change your thinking, improve your character, change your actions, and gradually you can change the direction of your life. Your future is not created in one dramatic moment. It is built quietly, through the thoughts you repeat, the choices you make, and the actions you take every single day. Thank you for watching. And if this book gave you even one idea that could improve your life, don't just remember it. Practice it, because a thought can inspire you for a moment, but a thought turned into action can change your life. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to the channel.